Hello and welcome to Red Gaming Tech for your daily dose of your latest gaming news and myself, Amata. Today is the 9th of December and I have some rather interesting and kind of saddening news regarding Skullgirls, as Konami has supposedly requested the game to be removed from PlayStation Network and Xbox Live, and this is according to Mike Zamont, who is design director of the game. Now, this was revealed by Zamont during a Twitch stream, and just to clarify, Mike did actually work with the studio Reverge Labs to develop the title, and he revealed that the game would most likely vanish from PSN and Xbox Live soon at the behest of Konami. And he said, quote, "We were associated with Konami. We soon will not be associated with Konami, but they have managed to do something. Here's the deal. Konami has requested, well, it's not a request, they said do the thing, that Skullgirls be delisted from PSN on December 17th. As far as Xbox goes, they have also requested that it be pulled from Xbox on the 31st. I don't want to cast any aspersions, but Konami submitted their request for that, didn't tell us, and we found out from Sony after the request was approved. It doesn't make any sense for them to have submitted that request because they make money of every copy that is sold with their logo on it." And according to Zamont, Konami has refused to extend the deadline on the removal of the PSN version. And he continued by saying, quote, "Co-publisher Autumn Games asked if Konami would extend the deadline to the 31st, and Konami said Sony wouldn't let us. Then Sony asked Konami if they would extend the deadline, and they said Autumn wouldn't let us. Then they asked Konami together, and we haven't got a response. I will value any judgments out of this, but that's amazingly annoying." Now, Skullgirls was due for new character DLC and also a few balance tweaks, and Zamont has said that he is working with Autumn Games to resubmit the game independent of Konami. And he continued, quote, "I have been preparing basically a new game. It's still Skullgirls, but it's published by Autumn. We are going to get this build together, and we need to wait for some numbers arrive, so it's not Konami's numbers anymore, and then we give them this build. If it gets through QA, then we'll come out with Squiggly and all the beta changes pretty soon. If not, then it won't until everyone comes back from winter break." Now, in regards to the different Sony territories, Zamont said that he's unable to say what will become of Skullgirls outside of the US, as he does not have a Sony contact in other regions. And he said, quote, "There are three Sonys, Sony US, Sony Japan, and Sony Rest of the World. We will be submitting the Sony US build because they were the ones with a very nice account representative that told us what was going on. We don't know anyone at Sony, the Rest of the World, so it will probably disappear. In Japan, it wasn't published by Konami, so they can't do this there. We'll be making a patch that the Japanese company will be able to submit. Although the game will probably still be accessible to those who have already bought the game, Zamont says that he has not been able to ascertain whether the game will still be playable online." And he said, quote, "I don't think that it means it deletes itself off your hard drive, but no one at Sony could tell me if you could still play online because this has never happened before to a game with online play." Now, Pete Bartholow, who is an associate of the co-developer Lab Zero Games, explained the situation via the Skullgirls Indiegogo page. And he said, quote, "As it's been alluded to in the past, things have not always been hunky-dory between Autumn Games and Konami. Around the time of the last update, it became clear that it would not be possible to proceed with the new patches as long as Konami was involved with Skullgirls. So, as of today, Autumn and Konami have terminated their business relationship, allowing us to move forward with the PS3 and Xbox 360 patch in a more timely and cost-effective manner. Now, Autumn Games will become the new publisher of Skullgirls on PSN, and it is working with Marvelous AQL to secure a replacement XBLA publishing slot, and obviously, as I said previously, the Japanese versions will be relatively unexpected. Now, Bartholow did explain further, saying, quote, "Since Konami was the distributor in the US and EU and not Japan, this shouldn't have any profound effect on the release of the Japanese PS3 patch. However, before we can finalise the Japanese PS3 patch, we need to get the US and EU patches completed. We're working closely with our Japanese distributor, Cyberfront, to make sure that all the patches land as close to each other as possible. We apologise that these deep business dealings have come between you and the first character your collective efforts has funded, but we're confident that subsequent patches will go more smoothly, and with this, all of us behind us." Right, so that's pretty much the lowdown with Skullgirls. Now, to be honest, I'm not really sure what to think because I don't know both sides of the story. from what they've said, it kind of sounds like Konami are being a little bit dickish, but I don't know what's been going on between them. Obviously, I don't know what's been happening behind closed doors. I don't know Konami's side of the story, the reason that they've done this and all that, so I shouldn't really make any judgments, but it's kind of hard not to when it just seems like Konami is kind of screwing over this small indie company who've made what has been pretty much all round considered a very, very good fighting game, especially for an indie company with a really interesting graphic style and of course an all-female cast, which is quite unusual. So it's a bit of a shame that this has had to happen, but hopefully we can get a resolution soon with Awesome Games being able to publish, or republish should I say, the games on PSN and Xbox Live. So those of you who perhaps were looking forward to this new patch can of course still enjoy that new content, as of course this has been funded by the people who love the game and who love the series. So, you know, obviously no one wants to see the game not be fully realised because of issues with publishers and so on, so hopefully this is resolved sooner rather than later, but it's really tough to say what's actually going to be happening. Still, fingers crossed we get some good news for Skullgirls very, very soon, but until then, take care, bye for now, and thanks for watching.